Happy belated Halloween! Hi, and welcome to the third episode of Down in the Valley. We didn't have an episode last week because I actually wasn't down in the valley. I was up in New Jersey back in the land of Wawas and vegetarian food choices, traffic, and ethnic diversity. But I'm back here in the valley. I'm kind of not excited about that, but this shirt is probably mental. Anyway, so since yesterday was Halloween, we are going to talk about, guess what? Halloween. I'm so original, I know. There are some differences to Halloween down here. I'm not sure, some of it might just be that our house is in a rural setting, not so much that it's in Texas. For instance, it's very hard to trick-or-treat in our neighborhood because a year or so ago it wasn't a neighborhood. And it's like 2 streets of 14 houses in the middle of nowhere. So Jordan, Juliet, and my mother did go around trick-or-treating. Out of 14 houses, 8 opened their door and gave them candy. And 2 opened their doors and said, "We're not participating." Why would you do that? That makes no sense to me. Why don't you just save your reputation and pretend you're not home? But, so, it's really hard to trick-or-treat in our neighborhood. Though some of the other neighborhoods, I've been told from different people, get so many people. Somebody joked that they think people come over from Mexico to trick-or-treat, which you never know. But, the police have to block off the street because there's so many people. But since we couldn't trick-or-treat in our house, we did the next best thing. Well, I don't know if it's the next best thing, but there are several church-sponsored fall festivals, and I saw that Bethel this year had one for the first time too. But it's a big thing down here. So we went to First Baptist Festival, which is like a whole community event, and they had, games and these huge, this ginormous inflatable slide, the biggest thing I've ever seen. There's pictures on my Facebook if you haven't seen it. It was enormous. Poor Juliet had to, go up and down these inflatable things with a Sleeping Beauty dress on, but she actually did very well. And she can man her own because she lives with Jordan. And we also went to First Christian's smaller scale Halloween festival, and they had trunk or treating, just something I've never heard of before, but here it is. They lined up the cars in the parking lot, and people sat, by their cars and divvied out candy from the trunk of their cars, and it really worked well, especially for people like us who live in a rural neighborhood, and the 8 houses that they got candy of, they had to walk like 1.5 miles to get. So it was much easier on the feet. But out of those 8 houses that they went to get candy, they brought home some Mexican candy, of course. On the whole, Mexican candy and Mexican sweets are kind of, I don't know, they're weird consistencies. They seem to favor I don't know, I can't explain it. It just doesn't taste good on the most part. But they brought home this Mexican candy that I was going to try for all of you people. But they brought home 2, and we had a grand total of 2 trick-or-treaters. And guess which candies they took? What are the chances? I mean, I would have grabbed all the Reese's peanut butter cups, but no, they took the Mexican candy. But they probably saved my life because this candy was a lollipop. It was mango flavored, mango chili flavored lollipop. And yeah, that wasn't a pickle lollipop though. That would have been interesting too. I'm sure they exist somewhere in Mexico. But so, like most things down here, the label was in Spanish and in English on the back. And I was looking, and I know enough Spanish to figure out that after the list of ingredients on the Spanish side, it had a warning about some untranslatable ingredient that may cause allergic reactions. But it wasn't on the English side. Everything else was translated into English, but this wasn't. And I was like, okay, so I got out my laptop and Googled. Actually, I didn't get out my laptop because it had a virus. I fixed it. I'm amazing. No thanks to Josh and Daniel. But I fixed my laptop. But I went on the computer. Sorry, I digress. I went onto the computer and Googled this. And I'm probably not remembering it very correctly. It was like tartan saria or something. It has something to do, it was close to tartan because when I Googled it, I came up with Scotch kilts. But I finally found it, and it is some sort of coloring, artificial coloring, that's actually banned in some countries. It's a red or a yellow-orange hue, and it's not banned in the US, but US law requires them to make explicit that it is included in the product. For whatever reason, I guess this probably wasn't made in the US, it was made in Mexico, therefore they didn't have to do that. But I'm still trying to figure out why, if they bothered to translate everything else, they didn't translate the warning. But don't be concerned. It said it causes a allergic reaction in like 1 out of 10,000 people. But so I didn't get to try the mango chili lollipop or let you see me on tape suffering a rare allergic reaction, which would probably have happened. What else about Halloween down here? Well, there was a piñata at one of the Halloween parties, but you know, there's a piñata at every party here. They don't really start trick-or-treating until it's dark. You know, in Cherry Hill, well, of course you have the curfew that you have to get out of, but like, goodness gracious, you get off the bus and you start because you want to get as much candy as you possibly can. But they don't really start till it's dark, even with little kids. But my mom said she sees, you know, little kids in Walmart at 11 p.m. Like, I don't know, like there's no like bedtime down here. I don't know. But yes, so that was their Halloween. I didn't dress up, sadly. I know everyone's totally disappointed. But there are some cute pictures of Jordan and Juliet. And next week I will actually have something put together and something a little more interesting with like props and not me staring at the webcam. Of course, I know you like to look at my beautiful face. But so long. How do I stop this?